This is the easiest mistake to make at Disney. I see this all the time. Today we are going over the 10 rookie mistakes people make when they go to Disney World. Disney World is a great vacation for you and the entire family, but it's no secret that involves a ton of planning and research. Because of all this, it's easy to make mistakes. This list obviously may seem like it's for the first time visitors. Even if you're a seasoned Disney vet, this is going to be a great refresher course on what not to do. So here's 10 mistakes you definitely don't want to make on your next Disney trip, with 3 bonus tips at the very end. Number 10, not getting tickets in advance / not making a park reservation. Now, yes, park reservations as of right now, February 22nd, 2025, are still a thing. Why? I don't really know. Park reservations started after COVID, and in the beginning, when the parks reopened post-COVID, it was very tough to get these reservations. It's gotten a lot easier to get them, and a lot of days you can get them day of, or once you get to the gate, they'll let you in. But on the busy times, it's definitely hard to still get these reservations, and on some random days, it's just difficult to get them. Some days, the parks just fill up fast. So the last thing you want is to plan your Disney vacation, get there, and there's no park reservations for that day, and you're SOL. On top of this, obviously, you want to get your tickets early. Now the lines for tickets get shorter, obviously, as the day goes on, but in the morning, sometimes at the Transportation and Ticket Center, especially for Magic Kingdom, the lines back up, and you could be waiting in line for 30 minutes just to get your tickets for the day. Buy your tickets online ahead of time, make your park reservations with those tickets. That way you don't have a worry about whether or not you're even going to get into the park, because this seems like an easy one, but I'm telling you, I constantly see people at the ticket booths, and I constantly see people getting stopped at the front gates as they're trying to scan in and they're being told you don't have a park reservation for today. I do it too. As an annual pass holder, it's a little different than regular tickets, and usually, again, I just have to make a park reservation there. There can be a time where they just don't have park reservations for this day, and you gotta go somewhere else. Don't make that mistake. Number 9, over planning. Now, if this is your first time coming to Disney World, I guarantee right now you're overwhelmed. That's normal, it happens, I get it. It's kind of an overwhelming vacation to plan. One thing you don't wanna do is overplan. You might be thinking this is our first and maybe only time we're going on this trip. We need to do everything. The Disney World parks is like over 40 square miles with 4 different theme parks, 2 different water parks, over 20 some resorts, Disney Springs. There's too much to do. So yes, you do need a plan, but don't overplan. Don't jam-pack 3 different parks in one day, 16 different rides in one day, 4 different dining reservations in one day. Don't overplan. I can't tell you what your plan looks like, if it's over planning or not, but if you think it's a lot, cut it back. You don't want to be over planned because it's just going to stress you and your family out. But I hate to break this to you, it doesn't matter how long you're staying. There is no way you will be able to do everything Disney World has to offer in one shot. I live here, and I still haven't done everything Disney World has to offer. Don't overplan. Number 8, and this is the easiest mistake to make at Disney World, I believe, and I see it so much. Not taking the time to understand transportation, reading the signs, and asking questions about it. Now, transportation at Disney World, especially if it's your first time, can be very confusing. Different options between the monorail, boats, Skyliner, buses, minivans. There's plenty of different ways to get to plenty of different places. And if it's your first time, or even you've been there a couple times, it can be confusing. Sometimes I'm even down here and my family's like, what do we do again? Or what do we get on there? It's a lot. So number 1, the most important thing here is to pay attention. Read all the signs. Listen to the spiels. Everything is mapped out, but there's certain things that are easy to miss. A common one I see is at the buses. People are trying to go to Animal Kingdom. They look at the sign real quick. Where do they go? Animal Kingdom Lodge. And now they're over at the lodge, brought back to the theme park, and now they're doing an extra step, and it takes longer to go there. It's very easy to miss, because one sign will say Animal Kingdom, one will say Animal Kingdom Lodge. You're going to Animal Kingdom, and especially if it's your first time, you probably don't even know there's an Animal Kingdom Lodge. The monorail and Skyliner, there is a hub for the monorail and Skyliner. I've seen it when I worked in monorails. People would take the express monorail around a couple times and be like, when does it stop at Epcot? Not knowing they had to get off the monorail to get on the Epcot monorail. Now, it spiels that and the drivers say it, but if you're not paying attention, you can easily miss that. Certain hotels have boats and buses, or monorails and buses, or Skyliner and buses. Sometimes they don't have both. You'll only be able to get to a park via a monorail, via a Skyliner, depending on where you're staying. It's a lot, and it sounds like a lot, but I promise you, it's easy. But if you've never even taken public transportation before, it can be a little confusing. The second rule on this, besides just paying attention, is to ask a cast member. They're there to support. They have people at the bus hubs, they have people at the monorails, they have people at the Skyliner. Just ask them, does this go here? is this taking me here? They'll tell you if it is, and then you're good to go, or they'll tell you, no, not this one, and they'll point you in the right direction. So if you even have a shadow of a doubt, ask a cast member. Honestly, I can tell you, as a former transportation cast member, that's what I'm there for. I'm obviously there to load people on and get everybody there safely, but also I loved when people ask me, does this go here? Yep, absolutely. That's not a dumb question. We understand that especially if it's your first time here, and that it's a little confusing. We had to take an 8-hour course as a transportation cast member on where all the transportation goes and how to guide people in the right direction because it can be so confusing. We had an 8-hour course. So think about you. You guys aren't getting an 8-hour course. So obviously you have to do a little research, but the most important things is to just pay attention and ask a cast member if you have any doubt. They're there to guide you. But make sure you are doing that because it can cost you almost an hour or more of your day if you take the wrong one. The number 7 rookie mistake is not making your dining reservations early. I've seen so much in Disney World where people just go up to restaurants and think it's just, you just get a wait time and wait there. And they're told there's no reservations available for the entire day. So now they're disappointed because they thought, I want to eat at that restaurant, and they didn't have an idea that they had to make the reservations that early. For these popular Disney restaurants, they book up reservations on day 1 of the possible day of reservation, which is 60 days in advance. And yes, they book up 60 days in advance. So if there's places that you're researching and you really want to eat, you got to be ready 60 days in advance at 6 a.m. when they drop because they will fill up fast. Now, the majority of restaurants won't fill up day 1 of 60 days in advance. Those are just the very popular in-demand ones. But still, they will fill out fast for the rest. And if you're there that day looking for a dining reservation, you're probably going to be SOL on a lot of these restaurants. Some have a wait list, but I wouldn't take the risk. If there's somewhere and if there's dining reservations you want to make those reservations early because day of, it's very difficult to get a table, especially during busy season. Quick service restaurants, you're not going to be starving for the rest of the day, but the quick service restaurants aren't up to the speed as all these table service, right? There's some really good table services you're going to want to book into your vacation. You'll need a good mixture of quick service and table. Number 6 is not being early. Obviously not being early on the dining reservations, making those far in advance, but not being early throughout your day. So if you're a person who doesn't really get to things on time, let alone early, you're gonna need to change this when you're at Disney World. Obviously the highest point of this, of not being early, is at the start of the day. You wanna get to that park at what they call rope drop. Rope drop is the official opening of the park where they remove the ropes and the guests can go to the ride. Sometimes they even let people in a little early there. So if you're there early, it's like free cut the line passes, right? It's like free express, fast pass, lightning lane, whatever you want to call it. You get to that ride early, the rides, a lot of them are moving, so they're easy to load. So the line isn't like caught up to what it's going to be at like 10 and 11, right? So you can get on 2, 3, sometimes 4 rides in the first hour without waiting long at all and knock off some of these ones. So you're already ahead of the game. And that's a trickle-down effect for the day, because then you can get to breakfast or lunch early before the lunch crowds come. Then you can get to the parade early, which is one you definitely want to get there early. You'll start lining up for the parade like an hour to 45 minutes before it starts. So if you roll up to the parade that starts at 3 o'clock at 2:55, you're not going to be getting a good spot at all. To the parks early, get to the parade early. Fireworks, if you really want a great spot, you'll have to get there early. You can get there a little closer to start time. I wouldn't go 5 minutes before, but you can get there 15 minutes before and still get a good spot because there's so many viewing spots. But the parade, and definitely in the morning, you want to get to these places early. In the morning, if you're staying at a resort, you want to get to the buses early because the bus lines can back up. If you're not a person who gets to things early, you're going to want to do it on your Disney vacation. Number 5 on the rookie mistakes is not having a backup plan. We talked about it earlier about over planning, right? You don't want to over plan, but you want to have a plan. You need to have backup plans throughout the day. There's a lot that can happen. Rides get delayed. Rides go down to weather. Reservations get missed. Things happen throughout the day. You don't want it to be that you have a plan for the day and then X happens. And now we're all standing there well, what do we do now? And now you're trying to kind of figure out what everybody wants to do, and it takes a while. Have backup plans. If this isn't here, we'll go here. If this isn't here, we'll go here. You know what I mean? If we're in Hollywood Studios and this, cool, flip a ride around. If this ride's down, we'll hit this ride, and then we'll come back for this one, right? It can be simple. But have ideas of what you'd want to do in the event that rain comes, rides go down, we finish eating early, we finished eating late. all those things. Have little backup plans. Again, it doesn't have to be crazy, but the last thing you want to do is something happen to that ride and now you have no idea and now you're wasting 30 minutes trying to figure out what to do rather than just be like, all right, let's go here now instead. So just kind of have those little backup plans in there. And again, for a first-time visitor, I know it's a little tough. Do some research, first-time visitors, and figure out what you can do instead. Again, it could be as simple as flipping a ride and just doing the next one here or this here, or eating a little early or eating a little late. But have those backup plans in place just in case. Speaking of weather, number 4. I see this all the time. People are not prepared for the weather that comes to Florida. Now, first thing you think of is the heat. Yep. People don't bring sunscreen, people don't bring water, people don't hydrate properly. Yes, all of those things happen. You need to do all those things. You need to be prepared for the hot weather. Also rain. You hear about this all the time. I see so many people who are just drenched. They don't have a poncho, they don't have an umbrella, they weren't ready for the rain, and now they're soaked for their entire day. Be prepared for the rain. Cold. People are like, no, they don't think of Florida cold, but we've just had days that it's felt like 40 degrees. 40 degrees, and you have people walking around in shorts and a tank top and they're shivering, or they have to buy that Disney hoodie or buy those Pluto pants because they didn't prepare for the cold weather. It can get cold here. On top of that, right now, because of the cold weather, almost every single day they're closing the water parks. It's not just us. Universal has closed Volcano Bay. We've closed Blizzard Beach. We close these water parks. It's just too cold. They close more than they do for rain in the summer. So it's very important to prepare for all weather, whether that's heat, whether that's cold, whether that's rain. 3 on this is not charging your phone or bringing a portable charger. Now, I get it. You're on vacation. You're probably like, I don't want to be on my phone the whole time. Unfortunately, for Disney World, it's become that you need to use your phone. The My Disney Experience app is your lifeline to the parks. It has your park tickets. It has your lightning lanes. It has the wait times. It has the map. It's got your photos. It's got everything. So the last thing you need is your lightning lanes that are booked for 6 o'clock and your phone's dead with no way of accessing them. It's everything. You need to have your phone fully charged and you need to have a portable charger there so you can make sure, especially if you're the group leader or the planner of this, you need to make sure. I've seen people with their phone dead and they're overpaying for a fuel rod, trying to sit on a wall and charge their phone so they can figure out what's next, and they waste their time. I promise you. I get it. It's a vacation. You might not want to be on your phone. If you are the group leader, if you are the planner of this, which you probably are if you're watching this video, need the phone fully charged. It is your lifeline in Disney World. Number 2, and if you've watched my videos, you've heard me say this a million times. Skipping mobile ordering is dumb. So many times I see people skip mobile ordering at restaurants and they wait another 15, 20, 30 minutes more for food. Now, there is a rare occasion, and I just had it in the other video, that the mobile ordering does go a little slow. Usually, that doesn't have to do with the cast members. It has to do with the food. Maybe they're just making a fresh batch, or it's taking a little longer. It's made to order, whatever. There's a rare occasion. But I'm telling you, 99 out of 100 times, if you mobile order, it saves you time. You can be in a line. Say you're going to eat after. We know where we're going to eat. Perfect. Hey, here's the menu. On the mobile order, it will show you pictures of all the food there. So if you have people that need to see it, they can see it. It tells you what it is. Place that in line for the ride. You can place that, pay for it, all good. They won't start preparing it until you hit that you're close. It comes up and says, I'm here, prepare my order. So place it in that ride line, ride the ride, get off, walk to the restaurant. As you get to that restaurant, hit I'm here, prepare my order, and they'll start making it then. But now, rather than figure out everybody's order there, you already did it while you were waiting in line anyway. Grab a table, you have time to find a table, and then boom, you're ready to go, and it's ready a hell of a lot quicker than waiting in line for 20 minutes, trying to name off 4, 5, 6 orders, and then having them make 4, 5, 6 orders when you could have, before you even walk in the restaurant, hit I'm here, find a table, sit down, relax, get some water cups, hydrate, chill out. It'll tell you it's ready, and you can go pick up all 6 at the same time. I'm telling you, mobile order, it's a lifesaver. Say only about 6% of people in the parks on any given day mobile order. Definitely take advantage of it. It saves you a ton of time. Now, number 1, before we get to the bonus tips, my family's made this mistake. I've made this mistake with people. I've seen it happen a million times, and it leads to arguments, it leads to fights, it leads to everything, is trying to do everything together. The bigger party you have in Walt Disney World, the harder it is to do everything together. And everybody wants to do different things and other things, and it can be frustrating, especially if you're the group planner, because you plan this for everybody and you accounted for that, and they're like, no, I want to go do this, you want to do this. understand that you're not going to be able to do the whole trip together, and you shouldn't. Have people break off, go do what they want to do, and then meet up for a dinner, meet up for a couple rides, start the day together, and then break off and come back at night for a show or meet at a show at a certain time. Understand that every single thing doesn't need to be done in a group of 10, a group of 8. There's some big parties here, and you can see them. They're all everybody's got to go to the bathroom at different times, and everybody gets hungry at different times, and everybody does this. Maybe it's good for, hey, you 4 are hungry? Go ahead and grab your food. We're going to go ride these rides. We're going to eat later. Those type of things. They're small, and it separates for a little bit, but it's worth it because it keeps everybody happy. It gives everybody a break from each other, and it's just so difficult to wrangle up a group. I'm telling you of like 5 or more. In Disney World, it's hard to get everybody on the same page doing those things. So if you're in a group of 8, 9, 10 plus, and I've been a part of those, it is such a pain to just move everybody around. Just accept the fact that there are things you're going to do together, and there's just going to be times you're not going to be doing things together, and that's okay. We want everybody to enjoy this vacation. They can break off and just set a time that everybody needs to come back together again. Accept it, it's gonna happen, and it'll make the vacation a lot easier. I promised you 3 bonus tips, and here we go. I won't elaborate much on these because they're pretty easy to understand, but I'm giving you those 3 bonus tips because if you listen to me talk for this long, you deserve it. I appreciate you. First up, check ride closures before you go. Right now, we have Big Thunder Mountain done for a year, and you know how many times I see people walking and be like, Big Thunder Mountain's closed? It's my kid's favorite ride. Yeah, it's down for an entire year for construction, and there are constantly rides. There's at least 2 to 3 rides down for construction at Disney World the majority of time, all throughout the parks. So check ahead, see. We got a lot of changes coming, a lot of exciting changes coming to Disney World, but there's going to be a lot of things down. So make sure you check ride closure and construction schedule ahead of time because you don't want to be disappointed walking up and realizing your favorite ride's closed after looking forward to it the entire time you were planning your trip. Number 2 in the bonus tips, wear comfortable shoes, no new shoes. Constantly see this in theme parks, people taking off shoes, massaging their feet. Oh, it's disgusting. Don't wear new shoes. Don't wear uncomfortable shoes. There is a ton, and I mean miles upon miles of walking. Don't wear uncomfortable shoes. Thank me later. Number 1 on the bonus tips is take breaks. Schedule in breaks. I get it. You paid a lot of money. You want to be in there and get up and be at the parks by 7 a.m. and not be done until 11 p.m. Get some breaks in there, whether it's going back to the resort for an hour. If you're staying on property, it's a lot easier. Or if it's in the parks, take breaks. Or during a 7-day vacation, have a no park day to relax at the resort. Do Animal Kingdom, which I think is pretty much a half-day park right now. Do Animal Kingdom in the morning, have a break the rest of the night. Take breaks, not just throughout your day, throughout your entire trip. It's going to be hot. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be one of those things. Take the breaks. Don't hurt yourself over this. It's a great time. Obviously, it's not a relaxing vacation, it's a Disney vacation, but make sure you have some breaks in there too so you don't go crazy. That's all the mistakes I have. If you have any extra ones, make sure you throw them in the comments so people can know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. I appreciate you, and I will see you on Thursday.